Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rehab.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, we'd like to introduce to you the starting defensive unit for the Los Angeles Raiders. At the left end, number 75, Howie Long. Nose tackle, 71, Bill
Is it in
McHale.
yours yet?
Yes, this is it now.
Oh.
At the right end, number 99,
This is
John
McGuire
Jones.
talking about an Ahmad. They'll come to us in a minute.
Left linebacker,
Are you on
number
after this?
57,
Yes, they're right after this.
Jerry Robinson.
Jeff,
55,
Jeff,
Matt Millen.
can you kill the local so we can listen to
Reggie McKenzie.
Jimmy's?
53,
No, the other
Ron
way,
Martin.
so we can hear
Number 48,
NFL Live.
Lionel Washington.
Ah, good, thank you. Yeah, perfect.
Thanks.
The return. Fullwood, the #1 draft choice of Green Bay out of Auburn, and Kelly Cook, a free agent out of Oklahoma State.
Charlie, now this is the show of solidarity relating back to the National Football League Players Association. Of course, their ongoing labor dispute with the management of the NFL. This is something that began back in 1982. A normal item before many sporting events, however, not done at football games. And of course, you hear the response from the crowd here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay.
Now, this has been kept very quiet that they were going to do this.
Well,
did you know?
I had heard that over the past couple of weeks, some discussion made, and in certain parks, yes, this handshake did go on during the preseason. However, I was not aware that they were going to go out and shake hands here today.
I thought I missed a fight when they started out, if you want to know the honest truth.
But isn't it odd that when a handshake takes place before a boxing match
That's
or
right. Oh,
anything
yeah,
else, it's fine. But here, in this context,
It
didn't
was
work.
greeted by a few boos. Now the game is underway. And here is Kelly Cook at the 5-yard line. To the 15. Good return. 20, 30. Down the sidelines, and then they'll mark him out of bounds at the 42-yard line. That's a 37-yard return. And so Green Bay opens with a spark of life. They, of course, the underdog in the ballgame. And the give is to Jesse Clark. And Clark moves for 7 yards to the 49. It's going to be 2nd down and 3 as he is brought down by Van McElroy. Let's look at the defense of the Los Angeles Raiders with their standard 3-4. And this is the normal set. First the linebackers, Robinson, Matt Millen, McKenzie, and Rod Martin. They're not the whole defense. Some people think that they might be, but we'll be looking at the others in just a moment. 2nd down and 3. Ed West, the other tight end, is the man who is in motion, and Kenneth Davis gets the call. And will be just short of the 1st down. Going to be 3rd down and about 1 to go. Defensive line, Howie Long, Bill Pickel, and Sean Jones for Los Angeles. And then in the secondary, again, the linebackers, Robinson, Millen, McKenzie, and Martin, Washington, and Haynes, Turan, and McElroy. Lionel Washington, of course, on the left corner, replacing Lester Hayes. We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Miami-New Orleans game. Our Miami-New England, that report just in, and we are just underway here with no score. Brent Fullwood, 1st down, Green Bay. 41-yard line of Los Angeles. McElroy again with the tackle.
Charlie, this is the spark that the Packers needed coming into the season. They did not have a running back all last season to go over the 100-yard mark. That's the reason they went out to get Brent Fullwood in the 1st round of the last draft. And so far this afternoon on his first carry, looks pretty good.
41-yard line of the Raiders. Opening drive by Green Bay. Little play action fake to freeze the linebackers. Pass is complete at the 35-yard line to Jesse Clark. Clark to the 30 and may pick up the 1st down along the way. Yes, he does.
This is what was missing last year from the Green Bay Packer offense, and Randy Wright started all 16 games for them a year ago, but he did not have a lot of protection. He had no running game, and the reason that he did not have much success the first half of the season, without a running game, you can't set this kind of a thing up. He fakes the ball inside to a halfback and then comes back and finds Jesse Clark, number 33, sitting in the middle of the field. The running game setting up the short pass.
And he, of course, got away from Matt Millen. And here's Kenneth Davis. The line of scrimmage, the Los Angeles 29, where it was a first down. And he will move to the 26, a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. Green Bay looking very impressive on this opening drive. And a spark important for their whole season is the way that they play in the opener.
Yeah, very much so. And they're establishing what they've worked for all offseason, establishing a running attack. The draft, they went into it thinking they needed someone like Brent Fullwood. They've worked on it all offseason and in the preseason, and it's worked so far on the first drive.
2nd down and 7. Randy Wright, the quarterback. Epps in motion. Now he comes back right to throw. Has pressure over the middle. It is incomplete. He drilled it. Ed West, the intended receiver, the tight end, couldn't pull it in. Rod Martin had very tight coverage on him. It'll be 3rd down and 7. 3rd down and 7. Raiders with 5 in the secondary. From the shotgun. Throwing on the run. It is intercepted at the 6-yard line. And it is Mike Haynes with the interception. And the Raider defense thwarts the Green Bay Packers. Frankie Neal, the intended receiver.
Randy Wright a little bit nervous in the pocket. It seemed that he did not give it enough time to develop further downfield. Now take a look at him out of the shotgun. The pressure does not seem to be that extreme at this point. He stepped up into the pocket a little bit too early, and then of course makes the mistake of throwing it downfield when he should have taken a sack. They were still in position to kick the field goal. Now that's not Frankie Neal, number 80's problem. Mike Haynes stepping in front because of the weak pass. As he was tackled, Wright was on his way down.
And Mitch Willis was the man pulling the quarterback down just as he made his throw. Los Angeles on offense for the first time in the ball game from their own 9-yard line. And they open up with Marcus Allen. Allen to the outside, and he'll pick up the first down. He's going to go out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So Marcus, who was bothered or plagued rather with injuries all of last year, opens with an 11-yard gain and a first down as Charles Martin makes the tackle. Offensively, for Los Angeles, Rusty Hilger, the quarterback, the question mark. Marcus Allen coming back off of injuries. Frank Hawkins, they're the running backs. Fernandez, a great wide receiver, as is James Lofton, formerly with Green Bay, and Todd Christensen, the outstanding tight end. This is a question mark. That offensive line, Davis, Hannes, Mosbar, Dean Moraldi, and the rookie, John Clay. Allen again with the call from the 20 to the 21. So it'll be 2nd down and 9 as Robert Brown makes the tackle. Here is the defense for the Packers. The changes at right end. Carricker, Martin, expected to see Ezra Johnson there. He went down with a knee injury on Thursday, so Robert Brown is playing there. We'll also see Ross Browner, who they got from Cincinnati. Linebackers, Anderson, Noble, Holland, and Harris. Holland a good one. Harris is really a good one. 2nd down and 9. Los Angeles at their own 21-yard line, and Rusty Hilger to throw. Tight end, Todd Christensen. He has it. He's down at the 27-yard line. Gain of 6. 3rd down and 3 as Mark Murphy, the strong safety, along with Brian Noble, the inside left linebacker, was there. There is a look at the secondary with Mark Lee, and he has a broken hand. Dave Brown on the right side, they acquired from Seattle just a couple of weeks ago. Mark Murphy and Ken Stills. So we've got all the players set. The list of characters for the play to unfold before us today here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Charlie, look for a couple of characters here on offense for the Raiders. 3rd and short yardage. Much of the brunt of picking up this possession type yardage will go to, of course, Todd Christensen and Marcus Allen in the backfield. Let's see if Rusty Hilger doesn't go to them now.
And they were waiting for Marcus Allen. He'll lose a yard to the 26. It'll be 4th down and 4. And that means that Stan Talley will come in. There was a change in the punters for the Los Angeles Raiders. That was Ray Guy. The last 14 years has been the kicker. And inconsistency is the problem. A low kick every once in a while, and nervousness may have gotten to him on that one. It is picked up by Walter Stanley. He returns it out to about the 40-yard line where Dokie Williams was down on the coverage. 38 yards on the opening kick for Stan Talley.
And Charlie, he got lucky with the roll. That could have been a real disaster for Talley and the Raiders. That has to make Al Davis and the rest of the group just a little bit nervous, because you're right, the question mark has been for Tom Flores and the rest of the staff of the Raiders, the inconsistency in training camp of Stan Talley. They never had to worry about that with Ray Guy.
Green Bay now on offense for the second time. We have no score in the game. 9 minutes and 17 seconds. That is the time remaining. We're in the first quarter. Jesse Clark gets the call. And Jesse will move from the 40 to the 45. It's going to be second down and 5. Let's go to New York. Thank you, Bob. A lot of people thinking Kansas City a playoff team, and they're opening that way. Incomplete. Ed West, the intended receiver. Randy Wright, an excellent pass into very tough coverage.
Yeah, he's been on target all day long so far. It is early in the first quarter, but each pass that he's thrown is thrown well, with the exception of the interception when he made the mistake of trying to go someplace after he should have taken a sack. But right on target. Ed West has to make that catch. He gets the man-to-man coverage coming across. He's got to make the catch against Stacey Turan.
Third down and 5, so 5 in the secondary. Jesse Clark, the remaining back, along with the quarterback Randy Wright from the shotgun. And here is a screen. They were running a screen to Jesse Clark, but flags came flying out before the ball was snapped. Interesting. He was in as a blocking back on a shotgun, and they were setting up the screen to him.
Also interesting that Randy Wright would elect to throw the football over there that time.
False start. Number 65. Offense. Third down.
Calling Ron Hallstrom. Third down and 10. Green Bay with the ball on their own 40-yard line. And we'll have another false start. I'm wondering, Mark Cannon is the center.
So that may be part of the problem. They're a little nervous out there with people like Sean Jones and Howie Long breathing down their backs.
We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Kansas City San Diego game. The Chiefs winning that one, as you know, 20-13 over the Chargers. Here we have no score between the Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Raiders on a sunshiny afternoon in Green Bay. And the Green Bay, and there's Stephon. And the Raiders could have some pretty good field position here. Good kick. Oh, this is a beauty. Hits at the 7. Makes it into the end zone. So that will go down as a 65-yard kick. It'll be a touchback. But that was simply a beautiful punt. And Los Angeles will take over at their own 20-yard line. No score in the ball game. The Raiders moving on offense for the second time. Starters: Hilger, Lofton, Fernandez, Hanna, Dean Miraldi, John Clay at right tackle. This is the first rookie. He's the number 1 draft choice this year. First rookie to start in the first regular season game since 1967. And that rookie was
Gene Upshaw.
That's right, Gene Upshaw.
Now the newest member of the Hall of Fame.
Hilger, little play action faking. Fumble, and it is fallen on by John Clay, the man that we were talking about. The official says Green Bay has the ball. I thought Clay fell right on top of it. No, they're going to change that, yes.
Offensive linemen don't get the opportunity very often to grab onto a football. John Clay probably won't play another 25 years and touch a ball. Yet in his first game as a starter, take a look at him working against the defender, Alfonso Carricker. And there's the football. Looky,
yes.
looky.
And it's second down and 14. And the umpire is stopping play. And that means that the replay officials are taking another look. Exactly what happened. Jerry McBride on the right is the ref, and it's second down and 14 at the 16-yard line. So the Raiders, outside of Marcus Allen, have not looked that brilliant. in their first two opening drives, but Marcus does look good.
Yeah. He's got those sweet feet back.
Yeah.
You know, a year ago he had exactly 1,000 yards less than he had in 1985. He had 759 last year. Some injuries, as you said before, Charlie, but he dropped the football the last 4 games of the season. Did not have a vintage Marcus Allen year, but he's a player and one of the best football players to come in this league in a long time. You can tell by the way he changes direction, and they call it sweet feet.
He picks up 10. There's Tom Flores, the head coach of the Raiders. 3rd down and 4. Marcus, 4 carries, 22 yards already in the ballgame. Here's Hilger with flags.
Seems that we had more movement, Charlie, this time in the offensive line of the LA Raiders.
It's rather a sloppy start in a lot of respects.
Number 64, offense, 3rd down.
That's on Dean Moraldi, the starting right guard out of Utah. He has been with Philadelphia and Denver, signed as a free agent. He was cut earlier in the week and then brought back, and that's really a numbers move. He wasn't cut because of being cut. It was simply a numbers move type thing.
Yeah, they'll put somebody on the waiver wire thinking nobody else will pick them up, and then bring him back. He winds up as a starter, cut on Monday, start on Sunday.
3rd down and 9. Hilger has time. Now pressure. Flag is down. He sidearms it. It is incomplete, but there was a marker on the play. Todd Christensen, the intended receiver. Kenneth Johnson had the coverage. And usually that flag means that there was holding by the offensive team. It'll be refused, and Stan Talley will be punting.
Holding, number 79, offense, penalty kind, 4th down.
Call on Bruce Davis. It will be 4th.
Threw an interception because of it.
Talley, his 2nd kick. That's Walter Stanley set for the return. Remember Talley's first. It's a low line drive that he got away with. This is a little better, but still short. Taken on the hop back of the 30-yard line, giving 2 more, maybe 3 more yards, and Stanley goes out of bounds at the 27-yard line. So Green Bay will move on offense now for the 3rd time in the ball game. We have no score. We have 6 minutes and 25 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first.
So as you take a look at the new people that are on the roster, they're not here any longer. 45% differential in personnel from one year to the next. And there you see some of the free agents and draft choices that have made this club. They think it's a good one.
And here's Kenneth Davis. Davis to the 40. Davis to the 50. Kenneth Davis out of TCU, taken in the 2nd round of the draft a year ago, having a banner opening game.
And Kenneth Davis has had problems with the hip pointer, injured last week, but he's got those very tough feet. He's different than Marcus Allen. He's not that sweet, but he's tough. He'll run somebody over herky-jerky style, and he made the corner and showed a lot of speed getting down the sideline.
We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the Cleveland-New Orleans game. New Orleans defeating Cleveland 28-21. Here we have no score between the Green Bay Packers, who have the ball, and the Los Angeles Raiders. And a 1st down for Green Bay at the Raider 47-yard line. This time Davis is dropped for a couple of yards lost back to the 49. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Rod Martin, the outside linebacker, number 53, is the man who got him. A sellout crowd here at Lambeau Field. Season ticket sellout of 57,091. And we're moving on the 5-minute mark. Time remaining, 1st quarter. Jesse Clark, the remaining back, right to throw. He goes deep, has a man, and it is incomplete. Lionel Washington had the coverage on Philip Epps. Epps was inside of him, but he simply couldn't hit him.
Lionel Washington, known for his coverage ability, lost out on a starting job a year ago to the St. Louis Cardinals, picked up in the trade by the LA Raiders. Now for a wide receiver, let's take a look and see what Epps does. Epps usually does not want to get to the inside. He wants to stay away from the safety. But Washington sits on his outside hip and takes the outside away, runs down the field. He knows he can stay on the outside. Washington can. He's got safety from McElroy coming over from the middle. Epps wants to try to get around Washington and down the sideline, not inside of the defender.
Wright has completed 1 of 6 for 12 yards. He's had an interception, the inside handoff to Davis. And Davis will pick up 4 yards to the 45. It's going to be 4th down and about 8 to go for the first down, and that means that Don Bracken will come in to punt for Green Bay. And Stephon Adams from East Carolina in his 3rd year in the National Football League is the return man for the Raiders. And we have flags again. So it's not been a very crisp
stance. An offensive lineman can move, and Jerry Markwright making the right call.
Fair catch is called for and taken at the 10-yard line. So the Raiders, who have not had field possession in the first quarter, have the ball at their own 10-yard line and a first down with a very nice reception when he arrived here before the game. We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching other ball games in the National Football League. Here we have no score between the Raiders and the Green Bay Packers. Marcus Allen, maybe a yard. We'll give him a yard to the 11-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 9 for Los Angeles, and they have not been out of their end of the field. Green Bay, on the other hand, had an opportunity early, but Mike Haynes with an interception at the 9-yard line stopped that scoring threat. We are moving on 3 minutes and 39 seconds. Time remaining in the first quarter in a scoreless opener thus far. Marcus Allen, 5 carries for 23 yards rushing thus far. Hilger has pressure. He's out to the 15, slides to the 17-yard line. So he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. And that play, Charles Martin was there to tag him down. That play is almost
Often on the other side have not touched the football yet this afternoon.
3rd down and 3. Hawkins stretching out for the first down. So Frank Hawkins goes from the 17 to the 24, gain of 7, and a first down for the Raiders. Alfonso Carricker making the tackle for Green Bay, the defensive left end for the Packers.
Charlie, when you look at the Raider draft and the acquisitions they made over the past years, you take a look at Frank Hawkins and his numbers. This is a team that has a philosophy. They want those big, strong offensive linemen. They want a quarterback who can sit in the pocket. They want fast wide receivers. All of their acquisitions during the offseason are pointed toward their philosophy. However, as you can see, that is not working just yet.
2 tight ends in the offensive set. Marcus Allen is wrestled out of bounds by Tim Harris. They'll mark it out at the 27-yard line. Gain of 3. And it's 2nd down and 7 for Los Angeles. No score. And we're moving on the 2-minute mark. Time remaining in the first quarter. 2:07 officially left to go in the first period. And no score between the Raiders and the Packers. James Lofton coming wide to the near side. Fernandez to the far side. Mervin Fernandez, of course, with that great career in the Canadian League. Hilger wanted to go to Fernandez. He was covered, and he slides down at the 26. He'll end up losing a yard. That'll be a sack for the Packers. Robert Brown and Charles Martin will share that one.
Charlie, the Packers only had 28 sacks in all of 1986, but they're going against a young, problemed, troubled offensive line of the LA Raiders. Remember, Shelby Jordan, Henry Lawrence, Kurt Marsh, none of them are on the team right now for the Raiders, all on injured reserve. They've got some young people in there and folks who are used to being backups. Some problems for Rusty Hilger and his offensive front.
3rd down and 8. Lofton, Hester, and Fernandez. 3 wide receivers are in the set. Christensen is open over the middle, and the pass is intercepted. Inbounds, yes. Dave Brown, the newest Packer, acquired from Seattle just a couple of weeks ago. Actually, he is the next to newest. Ross
feet in bounds. I'm not sure he had 1 foot in bounds at the time.
No.
Dave Brown, if it's not over, he got away with one there.
No, they're going to overrule it.
After further review, the interception was ruled out of bounds and incomplete.
That's right.
It'll be 4th down, Raiders.
That's exactly right, and a good call. That's the reason right there. Perfect example of why you have the instant replay.
Now take a look. He's got to have complete possession and 2 feet in bounds. Possession there,
Now,
1 foot in, 1 foot out. A good call by the replay official.
Yes, yes. So that means it'll be 4th down and 8, an incomplete pass. And it means that Stan Talley, who's put the excitement back into the Raiders punting game, will be kicking to Walter Stanley. One minute and 30 seconds. That is the time remaining in a scoreless first quarter. Low snap. His kicks are getting better as the game goes on. Taken at the 20-yard line. Good coverage down at the 18-yard line. And flags go down. Doki Williams was down on the coverage team. And down very quickly. A 54-yard kick by Stan Talley. The first.
After possession had changed. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 45, Raiders. Illegal block on the return, number 38, Green Bay. Penalties offset by rule. First down, Green Bay at the dead ball spot.
On Norman Jefferson and Stephon Adams, we've got a timeout, and that means that we'll be going away for a moment. No score. Raiders in Green Bay. We'll be back. And what did you say, Jimmy?
I said, no, I was only 5 years old. But you know what? I was a very retentive child, Charlie. And I seem to remember some of those items as we see a nice catch by Walter Stanley on the slant pattern, being Lionel Washington.
You were 5 years old. All right, we've got no score between Green Bay and Los Angeles. And it's been kind of a ragged first quarter thus far. So let's see what Green Bay can do now as Kenneth Davis gets the call.
Line, who had been 3 members, sat down because of inconsistent play during the preseason, now back starting, are looking good and strong. And Randy Wright, except for the 1 interception, has looked fairly good this afternoon.
2nd and 6. Davis finds opening, jumps to the outside, and he has a first down. Kenneth Davis, TCU, 2nd year, taken in the 2nd round of the draft, 5'10", 209 pounds, and Van McElroy finally took him out of bounds.
Have that sense that all good running backs have. There's no hole. You know there's some place on the field you can run. Go and find the open daylight. He does it well.
Davis 7 carries, 43 yards. So he's had a very productive first quarter. Pass is complete. This is Frankie Neal. Neal, the rookie, taken in the 3rd round of the draft, who was a sensation in preseason. And now you know why. Raiders 41-yard line. That is the end of the first quarter, and we have no score. We'll be back in a moment. Rushing. So we start the 2nd period. Brent Fullwood, the #1 draft choice, is brought down by Bill Pickel. Our 10-minute ticker was sick. We made it well.
It's back at healthy.
And it's back at healthy. And so now we can check the scores. New England over Miami, and New England always beats Miami in New England. What a big upset. Pittsburgh over San Francisco, and healthy by 13 points. And St. Louis over Dallas. And St. Louis looked very good in preseason. Dallas looked terrible in preseason. We'll come back with more of these. 2nd down and 12. There's pressure and a sack back at the 46-yard line. So it'll be a loss of 10. It's going to be 3rd down and 22 as Rod Martin gets the sack.
And that was an unusual sack too, Charlie. That was a 3-man pattern. They kept it tied in the offensive set. They kept a fullback in the offensive set, and he goes down with a sack as we take a look at some of the other scores around the league.
Kansas City winning. Houston upsetting the Rams. Another major upset. Tampa Bay big over Atlanta. Minnesota winning. Seattle leading Denver in the first quarter 14-7. Here we're scoreless. Third down and 22. And here's another sack for the Raiders. And this time it is Greg Townsend who gets it. That is their second sack of the ball game. And that means that Don Bracken will be kicking.
Very first game.
Coach, did you ever play this game? And he was serious. He didn't know he was talking to a Hall of Famer. Here's Stephon Adams on the return to the 33-yard line, where Norman Jefferson makes the tackle for the Green Bay Packers. We'll take a timeout with 13:34 left to go. First half, no score.
Doesn't get any better than this. And by Castrol, the motor oil engineered for today's smaller cars.
Hilger to throw, has pressure, and he was dumping it off. He was avoiding a loss, and he's holding his knee as he went down, and he got away with that one. So Rusty Hilger now has completed 1 of 4 passes for only 6 yards. He's been sacked twice. Marcus Allen has been the entire offense for the Raiders, 6 carries for 67 yards.
And it's been a combination of things. One, he is not getting very much time as he sets up in a pocket. But 2, I have not watched his feet stop in the pocket yet. He has those nervous feet, which is usually expected with a young quarterback. But hey, this guy has the Los Angeles Raiders on his shoulder. You better start slowing those feet down.
Hilger goes deep, and he throws behind James Lofton. Lofton was covered by Mark Lee, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Mark Lee operating with a broken hand. He's got a cast on one of those hands. On the right hand, as you see him coming across there. And that will give him some problems at the line of scrimmage, trying to jam someone like James Lofton. It's difficult to do with a broken hand if you can't grasp whatsoever. And also, of course, catching the football. Forrest Gregg told him, look, I don't expect you to catch it with that broken hand. Just knock it down. He's done it so far.
Hilger now 1 of 5. 6'4", 210 pounds. Played his collegiate ball at Oklahoma State. A lot of confidence. Flags are down. Pass is complete to Todd Christensen. If it stands, it'll be a first down. When the flags are dropped in that area, usually it's offensive holding, and that's the call. They'll bring it back. So possibly we can't put all the blame on Rusty Hilger. He had the time there because of the holding call, and he completes the pass. So maybe it's the offensive line.
Holding,
There are some question marks in that offensive line.
Offense, 3rd down.
And the holding's on John Clay, the rookie from Missouri.
Well, it's a combination, Charlie. You have people such as John Clay there in the offensive line. It's an offensive line the Raiders would probably prefer not to go with. You've got, as I said, Shelby Jordan and Henry Lawrence and Kurt Marsh on the injured reserve list. Charlie Hanna is playing at the left guard spot, usually a journeyman who's filling admirably when he's had to. But it's a combination of the problems with the offensive line for the Raiders and the nervous feet of Rusty Hilger.
3rd down and 20. And here's Marcus Allen. And he has a total of a yard. It'll be 4th down and 19. Mark Murphy, the strong safety, moves up to stop him. And that means that Stan Talley will come in to kick.
Scrimmage. Mark Murphy, number 37, coming up from his strong safety position with the original hit.
And Walter Stanley is the return man. Pretty good kick. Taken at the 28-yard line. To the 30, 35, he's to the 40, down at the 41-yard line. Good return, 13 yards. Trey Junkin made the tackle. He was just a step away from 6 points. We'll be back in a moment.
Trey Junkin doesn't make this tackle, number 87. The only person that's left was Talley, number 5, the punter.
We don't have a lot of confidence in punters. For
Not as tacklers.
Not as tacklers, not making touchdown-saving tackles. And here's Paul Ott-Caruth, the ball carrier. And we have got a flag dropped on the other side of the field at the line of scrimmage, the 41. Jerry Robinson with the tackle. A tremendous amount of flags, you know, in the first 18 minutes of the ball game.
Offside, number 75. Defense lined up in the neutral zone.
Lined up in the neutral zone.
First down.
And so it's a quick 5. It'll be 1st down and 5 to move the ball out to the 46-yard line. And that's a mistake that a veteran, of course, shouldn't make. But both teams very ragged. I'm surprised from that standpoint.
Yeah, they certainly have been. Penalties on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Much of this game has been played in favor of the Packers as far as field position is concerned. And we were down on Rusty Hilger a minute ago. Maybe some of it is because he can't use his offense down in his end of the field.
Randy Wright has completed 3 of 8 for 41 yards, 1 interception. He's been sacked twice, losing 19 yards. And here's Paul Ott-Caruth. And he dives out to the 49-yard line. So he'll have 3. It's going to be second down. Still a couple to go for the first down. Stacy Turan was there. The 10-minute ticker. New England defeating Miami in New England. Pittsburgh upsetting San Francisco. One of the big upsets of the day. Buffalo losing to the Jets in a close one. Washington winning as expected. New Orleans, Cleveland. That was pretty much of a toss-up. New Orleans for real. St. Louis defeating Dallas. Cowboys have some problems. Kansas City defeating San Diego in Kansas City. Houston upsetting the Rams. That may be the big upset of the day. Caruth again getting the call. And we have these scores. Tampa Bay big over Atlanta. Minnesota over Detroit. And Seattle leading Denver's second quarter by 7, 14-7. Their game, the Seattle-Denver game and the game here, the only 2 remaining in the National Football League. They're the late games today. And we'll have the chains come out for a measurement.
In the past couple of years, been on the bottom of the pack in the NFL.
Third down, less than a yard to go for the first down. And Green Bay may not make it. Caruth is stopped and pushed back. And the defense of the Raiders asserting themselves for the first time in the ballgame.
Yeah, and Sean Jones had a lot to do with that. He stuffed Ken Rutgers right at the line of scrimmage, and Caruth had absolutely nowhere to go with it. Let's take a look at it from the inside. Number 99, Sean Jones, left side of your screen. 75 is Ken Rutgers, and he is stuffed, pushed back into the line of scrimmage. Also, Martin doing a good job, and there's nowhere for Caruth to go with the ball.
So Don Bracken is kicking. Stephon Adams fields it at the 15. He's to the 20, heads to the sideline, and is brought down around the 26-yard line by Johnny Holland, the rookie out of Texas, at the conclusion of the telecast. No score between the Los Angeles Raiders, the Green Bay Packers. Raiders have the ball at their own 26-yard line. Marcus Allen to the 32. Second down and 4, and Mark Murphy makes the tackle.
Rusty Hilger, of course, having problems thus far in the first half, but you know, it's too early for anyone, the coaching staff, Rusty Hilger himself, to get nervous about his performance thus far. This is probably the best field position they've had all afternoon long, Charlie, the 32-yard line. Let's see if they don't put something in their offense they haven't used before.
Frank Hawkins and Marcus Allen, the running backs. Fernandez showing motion. Hilger dumps this one over the middle. Flag is down. Pass is complete to Mervin Fernandez. And now we'll check out the flags as Johnny Holland made the tackle. The play went to the 35-yard line. The preliminary call was holding against the Green Bay Packers.
Holding, number 59, defense, automatic first down.
It's called on John Anderson. Anderson, number 59.
Charlie, let's take a look at Hilger and find out exactly what he's doing. He's looking at one target now. This is a play specifically set up for Mervin Fernandez coming underneath. His form looks fine. He's set up in the pocket well. It's a short pattern, but his feet were not moving that time. No nervous feet, and he was on target to Fernandez. We'll keep an eye on him, see when he throws a deeper pass if he doesn't have those nervous feet.
And here's Marcus Allen. And he goes out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. Let's see where they're going to spot it. Nobody went to the spot where he stepped out. They're going to say the 46-yard line. So it'll be about a yard and a half shy of the first down. And it's going to be second down.
Sweet feet and sweet hips of Marcus Allen. When you look at a running back coming towards you, here it is. Now, this is what a defense is going to see. The shiftiness. There it is. I'm going inside. No, I'm not. I think I'll go out here for a while. And that's tough. And still no one hits him. He still kind of knives his way through for another 4 or 5 yards. That's a special back, Marcus Allen.
Second down. Over the top. First down for the Raiders. And Marcus Allen moves to the 49-yard line. So you can add 3 more yards to his total as John Anderson makes the tackle. Marcus, 10 carries, 46 yards rushing thus far, and we still have 8 minutes and 47 seconds left to go in the first half.
But this is the same problem the Raiders had a year ago. If they can't throw the football, they've got to rely on 2 people. Marcus Allen and Todd Christensen. And as a running back, if you're going to take that pounding, sure enough, later in the season, you're going to have some injury problems. That's something the Raiders want to try to avoid.
Hilger to throw. Intercepted and then fumble. They may rule it no possession, no interception. Mark Murphy diving for it. He had it. Todd Christensen, the intended receiver, and he just could not hold on to it.
That's quite a play from Mark Murphy as well. Todd Christensen is good, a tight end man-to-man as there has ever been in this league. And he had Murphy man-to-man in that instance, and not a bad throw on the part of Hilger. Just a good play on the part of Mark Murphy. Let's take a look at it. Hilger sitting in the pocket.
Illegal
down
hands
the bottom
to the
part
face.
of your screen.
Number
That is
94,
Christensen.
Defense, automatic first down.
And Murphy, just on instinct, takes the dive and breaks up the play.
Meanwhile, a flag and illegal hands to the face called against Charles Martin, number 94. That's an automatic first down. As the ball moves to the Green Bay 46-yard line.
There, it's tough to pick up Martin. Of course, the nose tackle in the middle of the field. Difficult to see it, but nice play on the part of Murphy, diving in front of Christensen.
We've had flags on almost every play. Marcus with a good fake outside, comes back inside to the 42-yard line. That's good for 4. And it's going to be 2nd down and 6. So a very ragged first half. And it's 2nd and 6. Total yardage for the Packers 85, for the Raiders 61. With 7:54, that really says it all. 7:54 left to go in the second quarter. No score, the Raiders and the Packers. And no offense to speak of on either side. Hilger both backs in. He goes deep. Flags are down. It is underthrown. It is intercepted at the 5. Lofton, the intended receiver, Dave Brown, has the interception down at the 5-yard line. We'll have to wait to see what the flags say.
It seemed that Todd Christensen was tied up with the defensive back inside. That may be where the flag came from.
Dave Brown had an almost interception earlier in the game when he didn't have possession and stepped out of bounds. They overruled it.
Let's see if we can't pick up what exactly the penalty might have been. Jerry Markbride coming out with the call.
Illegal hands to the face by the defense, automatic first down.
Well, we did not get a number from Jerry Markbride, but well underthrown. And here, very little chance for James Lofton to do anything.
Hands to the face of the tight end.
All right, that's what we thought, Charlie. There you see Todd Christensen, bottom of your screen with the problem. Nice form on the part of Dave Brown. Kept Lofton to the outside, and a poor throw on the part of Hilger. But the flag once again, Todd Christensen, tough man to cover, and you do whatever you can, but don't go to his face with your hand.
And here's Marcus Allen with a first down. Flags are down again. He has 3 yards to the 34. And this time the penalty, I believe, is going to be on Frank Hawkins. At least that's according to the cheers of Tim Harris, the linebacker for Green Bay, number 97.
And Frank Hawkins doesn't look like he's denied it either. Walked back to the huddle with his head down. I think he knows
Holding,
he got
number
caught.
27, offense, first down.
So the play goes back to the 47-yard line. It'll be first down and 20 at the Green Bay 47. 7:27 and flying, but slowly. Time remaining second quarter, and we're scoreless. And we're offensiveless, if that's incorrect English, of course. But a lot of penalties, a lot of flags. Hilger throws. This one is incomplete. Good defensive play by Mark Murphy. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC television between the Raiders and the Green Bay Packers with 7:07 left to go now in the first half. Second down and 20. The ball at the Green Bay 47-yard line. Here's Marcus. He slips, pops up, still manages to go to the 41, so he gets 6. It'll be 3rd and 14 as John Anderson covered him at that point. Have you seen any shining lights in the first half?
Well, outside of Marcus Allen for the Los Angeles Raiders, no, I don't think so. Defensively, a good point for the Packers. Mark Murphy, number 37, their now strong safety. Last year missed the entire year because of a stress factor, and he's coming back strong. Very good, covering a tight end and moving fairly well on that leg.
Seattle now leading Denver by 10. Marcus Allen, 56 yards rushing, 12 carries here in the first half. Dropped off to Hawkins, and Hawkins goes to the 35. So that's a gain of 6. It'll be 4th down and 8 as Tiger Green makes the tackle. So 4th down, and Stan Talley comes in. So the Raiders will be kicking as we move on the 6-minute mark. Time remaining second quarter. And a scoreless ball game between Los Angeles and Green Bay. Walter Stanley is the return man. And as a right-footed kicker, he wants to go to that left corner, and he's not going to make it. And right-footed kicker, you want to come across. If you go to the right side, a big tendency to slice the ball out of bounds about 10 yards downfield. So it'll be a touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Green Bay will have possession when we come back in just a reserve. Randy Wright goes deep right side, overthrows his intended receiver, and it was almost intercepted by Lionel Washington. Philip Epps, the speedster, was the deep man for the Green Bay Packers. It'll be 2nd and 10.
All right, here's Randy Wright. Now, he set up in the pocket very well and delivers the ball very well, too. He doesn't have those nervous feet. Of course, his protection is pretty good. At this stage, 2 6th-round draft choices, 2 young quarterbacks. You've got to say Randy Wright is mechanically doing better this afternoon than Rusty Hilger is to this point.
Wright drops this one off incomplete. Going to Ed West, his tight end, so it'll be 3rd down and 10. He looks better, but the results haven't been that much better.
No, the results have not been any better, but let's take a look at Randy Wright one more time to find out exactly what he's doing right or what he's doing wrong. But he seems more relaxed. He 5-step drop, gets into the pocket. That time he threw off his back foot. What he's telling the tight end is keep going across, keep going across. He was expecting the receiver to continue across.
You know who he looks like, his throwing motion?
Who's that?
John Brody. I know you don't remember John Brody.
I was only kidding.
It's so difficult working with people who are so young. But he does. 3rd down. The viewers in San Francisco will know exactly what I'm talking about. And here's a sack for the Raiders. That is their 3rd. This time it is Malcolm Taylor who gets the sack. And it'll be 4th down. And that means that Don Brackett will be kicking, and Los Angeles could start the next series with their best field position of the. And Bracken will be kicking from around the goal line. And there is Stephon Adams. Gets some pressure. It is high. It is short. And it is taken at the 50 in a crowd and held on and down at the 50-yard line. A tough catch. Possibly should have signaled for the fair catch. Did not. Kenneth Johnson had the coverage. Timeout. No score. Those of you who know, very nervous and always very relaxed and very calm and very optimistic about the season.
Well, he has a lot of things to be happy about. He made the large coup with Bo Jackson. He may get him by November 1st. Certainly he had to be happy about that during the offseason. Some money in his pocket with the move uptown out of Los Angeles.
But also, as far as this season is concerned, he felt he mentioned 4 writers that picked him to win the division and 4 that picked him to finish 4th. And he kind of liked the challenge of being picked 4th. Yet he was loose and relaxed and talking about all this.
I think so.
Different for Al.
He also said that there hasn't been a quarterback that was not a high-round draft choice to win the Super Bowl in recent years. And when you think about it, he's absolutely right.
With some exceptions, though. And here's Marcus Allen. No, he was talking about his quarterback, Rusty Hilger, who is not having a good day. And said that, and it was kind of like the challenge of could he take a 6th-round draft choice and go all the way to the Super Bowl? Because recently, I think the lowest draft choice of the Super Bowl has been probably Montana, who was a number 3.
He was the 3rd-round draft choice to win. Right. Well, we're sitting here in Lambeau Field. Of course, Bart Starr, a 17th-round choice, comes to mind.
Very quickly. And Marcus Allen jumps to the outside. He's to the 30. That's the first down. So Marcus Allen back-to-back from the 20-yard line to the 18-yard line in 2 plays. So he has added a quick 32 yards to his total. Dokie Williams and Jesse Hester are now the wide receivers, but Marcus Allen is the story now.
Now this play is scheduled to go right off tackle behind nose bar, Charlie Hanna and Bruce Davis on the left side. And he just makes the hole himself. Everything collapsed to the inside. It's that sixth sense, that great instinct. Yes, he's got the speed to go around the corner, but he had to put himself in position to get around the corner. He did that with a sense. He did not see the hole. He felt it.
And when you keep looking for Marcus Allen, here comes Frank Hawkins. Hawkins from the 18-yard line to the 12, a gain of 6. 2nd and 4, Johnny Holland with the tackle. Marcus Allen, 14 carries, 87 yards rushing with still 4 minutes to go in the first half. He's on his way to 200 if the passing game doesn't get on track for the Raiders, because they'll have to.
Right, that's good news for the Raiders in the sense that he's going to get all these yards, but it is bad news in the sense because it puts more pressure on Allen as the season goes along. You need a healthy Marcus Allen to go through the air.
We have jumping and contact is made, and usually this means that an offensive lineman moved too soon.
Encroachment foul, number 61, defense.
And they're going to say that Boyarsky was not drawn off.
There he is right in the middle of the nose tackle now. Number 61. Very, very unusual. You know what may have happened there? Yeah, it may have been unusual.
I know what it was.
He was squeezing that football.
The center,
right.
The center will squeeze the football with his hands, and that nose tackle will move with him. And when he goes, the linebacker behind him goes.
That's right. But of course, Don Mosbar took a pop by Jerry Boyarsky for squeezing the Sharman there.
So with the penalty, the ball goes to the 7. There's Marcus, and Marcus is to the 3-yard line. It was first down and goal to go at the 7, so it's now 2nd down and goal to go at the 3. Mark Murphy. Chris Barr staying loose.
There's Mark Wilson, number 6, who just walked out of your picture there, charting some plays on the sideline. Of course, he was the starter last year for the Raiders, but this year they've decided to at least begin the season with Rusty Hildreth.
2nd and goal. 3 tight ends, all blockers. Leading in, but not quite making it, is Marcus Allen. Mark Murphy, the strong safety. And a shoe comes flying out of the melee. There it is. And it belongs to Mosbar. And wig-wagging in the plays. And, of course, the reason that Mark Wilson stationed himself where he was is that is so he can block so that the plays cannot be read by the opposing coaching staff of the Green Bay Packers. Marcus Allen now has rushed for 93 yards and 16 carries. And it's 3rd down and goal to go. And the eye formation, Frank Hawkins, Marcus Allen. And Marcus over the top. Touchdown. All that the ball has to do is break the play. Breaking the plane of the goal line. You'll hear that time and time again throughout the season. And the Raiders finally open the scoring in Green Bay with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter.
Now, this is a total Marcus Allen drive, and what more appropriate way to culminate it is than Marcus Allen going over the top. Line blocking up front, there's nothing that can be done here. Defensive linemen will dive at the knees of offensive linemen. There's a big pileup, and it takes someone with the spring of Marcus Allen to get over the top.
A 50-yard drive. They started it with good field position. Chris Barr to attempt the point after. It is up and it is good. And so the score, the Los Angeles Raiders 7, the Green Bay Packers nothing, with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the 2nd quarter. And the ball rolls off of the tee. A little bit of a breeze today, a very pleasant afternoon, the temperature in the mid-60s. And this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. It will be taken at the goal line by Brent Fullwood. And he is out to the 19, bumped back to the 20. Nice, struggling, physical return to the 23-yard line. And James Davis finally got him at that point. Has the ball first down at their own 23-yard line with Kenneth Davis and Paulette Carruth. The two backs along with Randy Wright in the shotgun. Wright throws underneath the coverage. The pass is complete. It's only going to be good for a yard, though. He goes to Davis, and he's wrapped up by Jerry Robinson. For an update, let's go to New York City. Thank you, Bob. Meanwhile, Green Bay is going with a hurry-up offense. At the 31-yard line. Just completing the pass to Walter Stanley.
Right across, Frankie Neal unable to hang on to it. Has to make that catch, though, the rookie from Fort Hays State. And a nice throw on the part of Randy Wright. Let's take a look at Frankie Neal again, a rookie who made great strides during the preseason. A big man, and he's going against the best, though, against Mike Haynes, and he beats him across the middle. But he had those alligator arms, though, Frank.
Alligator arms?
Yeah, alligator arms. The short arms when you come across the middle and you're worried about a safety coming across.
And Bracken with a good kick. Adams has touched the ball, then he has to recover it, and he does at the 13-yard line. Stephon Adams of the Raiders, an excellent kick by Don Bracken. And Tiger Green was down very quickly to cover on the play.
We'll find out exactly what Hilger has going for him here. Has not been very successful during the first half of the game thus far, but with 59 seconds left and nearly 90 yards to go, 88 actually, he's going to have to throw the football up in the air if the Raiders want to increase their lead. It's not time to hand the ball to Marcus Allen here.
A 57-yard kick by Don Bracken. And Los Angeles goes to work at their own 12-yard line. At halftime, the Budweiser NFL report on NFL Live in New York City, so be sure to stay with us for that. Lofton, Hester, and Dokie Williams, the three wide receivers. And Marcus again gets the call, and he'll pick up about 3. Johnny Holland with the tackle. So the Raiders obviously are going to give him 2 to the 14. They're going to take a countdown to the halftime. And a 7-0 lead. They're not going to gamble here at all with putting the ball in the air.
Well, it goes a long way in finding out exactly what the Raider coaching staff feel about Rusty Hilger's performance in the first half. At the 12-yard line, their decision with the young quarterback is to just hang on to a 7-0 lead. If there's a Jim Plunkett in the game, if there's a Mark Wilson in the game with more experience, you got to try and throw the football here.
1 second on the 30-second clock, and they barely get it off in time. And Marcus goes to the 15-yard line. John Anderson with the tackle. Green Bay not stopping the clock now. The clock is being stopped.
First charge timeout, Green Bay.
46 of the yards were credited to Marcus Allen in his rushing total. And here's Frank Hawkins. And Hawkins out across the 20 to the 22-yard line, and very close to the first down. The Packers do not stop the clock here. The gun sounds, and that is the end of the first half. So in a way, a very strange first half, and not a very productive first half.
No, not at all. A lot of penalty flags thus far. Rusty Hilger not very successful for the first half. We'll see what he has coming out next time.
NFL. Vance Mueller. And is that Dokie Williams back as a return man? Yes, it is. So they are the deep backs on the kickoff return. It'll be Mueller taking it at the 7-yard line. He's out to the 15, to the 20. Has a good return going. And across the 30 to the 32-yard line where Mark Murphy makes the tackle. 23 yards on the return in the first half. Marcus Allen, 19 carries. You know, that's 3 games for some running backs. And a total of 97 yards. And Mark Wilson is going to be the quarterback in the second half for the Raiders.
And so we've got a quarterback controversy in the very first half for the Los Angeles Raiders. But you're right, Charlie. 19 carries, just too many for Marcus Allen the first half of a football game.
So first down at the 31-yard line. And Wilson has his first completion. He goes to Todd Christensen, his tight end. And Christensen last year, of course, the leading receiver in the National Football League with 95 receptions. And John Anderson makes his stop as the Raiders come out firing.
And Charlie, in this one pass play, Mark Wilson has more yards passing, 14, than Rusty Hilger had the entire first half, 12. A dangerous pass, though. He's going to Christensen, and a linebacker, John Anderson, number 59, who eventually makes the tackle, one step away from picking that pass off.
And here's Marcus Allen. Marcus leads to the 50. He has 5 to his total. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Robert Brown with the tackle. So Marcus is now over 100 yards rushing. And there's Rusty Hilger. And the reason he's standing that way, same thing, is the wig-wag the signals in on the play. And he is shielding it from the coaching staff across the field, this time of the Green Bay Packers, so that they can't read the signals. 2nd and 5. Marcus Allen to the 49. We'll give him 2 to the 48. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Allen bothered by an ankle injury for most of last year, and quite honestly, he laid the ball on the ground during the second half of the season. The Raiders were, they lost their first 3 football games of the year and their last 4 of the season. And with that many rushes, not very many people can carry the ball that many times in a football game and go through a 16-game season as a healthy person.
Mark Wilson fires, and the pass is underthrown to Fernandez, but he still grabs it at the 37-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 12. They gave Marcus only a yard to the 49, so it is a 1st down. So Mark Wilson does have the Raiders offense untracked, at least at this moment, the beginning of the second half.
All right, now the difference setting up in the pocket, very steady. He was very steady. Mark Wilson was standing in the pocket, knew where he wanted to go with the football. The difference between Rusty Hilger and Mark Wilson right now is simply the experience.
This pass is low. It's going to be a short hop to Fernandez. It's going to be incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Mark Lee had the coverage. So the ball still at the 37-yard line of Green Bay. 12:55. That is the time remaining 3rd quarter, and the Raiders lead it by a score of 7-0. That score coming with 2:12 to go in the first half. And the umpire is stopping play, and the reason that he's stopping, they want to take another look in the instant replay booth of the short hop on that pass that was ruled incomplete.
After further review, the play stands 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. The ball still at the 37-yard line. Al Zabato is the replay official. And we had some jumping, but no flags. And this time Marcus Allen is stopped. He'll lose yardage back to the 41. So that'll be a loss of 4. It's going to be 3rd down and 14. Alfonso Carricker was there.
Charlie, over the past 6 months, maybe the last couple of years, we'll say, the quarterback controversy has mounted in Los Angeles. There have been rumors that one time or another the Raiders were going after people like Jim Everett when he was available from the Houston Oilers, Jim Kelly before he wound up in Buffalo, Ron Jaworski, the free agent now with Miami, Neil Lomax, trade rumors there, and Doug Williams. That rumor continues to persist, the backup quarterback for the Washington Redskins. And now, of course, Mark Wilson taking over for Rusty Hilger, so the controversy continues.
3rd down and 14, and it is dropped. A perfect pass over the middle to Jesse Hester. And Hester's made some big receptions and a lot of yardage, but he's dropped a lot of passes.
Yeah, that had a lot to do with him being moved down in the depth chart. Backing up now, James Lofton.
So it's 4th down, and that means that Stan Talley is aboard, and he will be punting. Walter Stanley is the return man. Back at the 10-yard line. Here's Talley. He's had a 54-yarder, 5 punts. A little shaky at first, and he's gotten stronger as the game goes along. And it's Stanley, you see the return man. He goes for the corner on the far side. And he does not get it. Goes into the end zone for the touchback. Will bring it out to the 20-yard line. The score, the Raiders 7, the Packers nothing. 11:59 left to go in the Raiders in front of Green Bay by a score of 7-0. Green Bay with the ball at their own 20-yard line. Randy Wright, the quarterback, 5 of 13 for 49 yards. 1 interception. He's been sacked 3 times. Davis, their leading rusher, 7 for 43. And here is Kenneth Davis. And a flag is down.
Charlie, Rich Moran, I think, got caught with the takedown, number 57, the right guard for the Green Bay Packer offense.
And we have an injury report on Rusty
Holding
Hilger.
number 57, offense.
You're right, it's on
first
Moran.
down.
Yeah, they say that the injury report says that Hilger bruised his left shoulder during the first half of the contest, did not come out at that time. They're not sure if he can return during the second half of play. And so maybe the decision to bring Mark Wilson into the football game was not purely based on Hilger's first half performance. However, you've got to admit it was not a stellar job.
Pass is complete to Walter Stanley. Stanley, the 21-yard line. Gain of 11. It was 1st and 20, so it'll be 2nd down and 9, and Mike Hayes makes the tackle.
Mike Haynes, for many years, was the single best coverage defensive back in football, and he still is. Now, obviously, he's lost a step. He's 34 years of age, but Mike Haynes losing his step still makes him as good a coverage back as there is in the NFL. That's his favorite position, by the way. Bump and run coverage, long wingspan, tough for a receiver to get away from him.
2nd and 9. Incomplete. Jerry Robinson, the linebacker, is drifting back along with Mike Hayes. Mike Hayes, number 22, one of the premier quarterbacks of the National Football League. You played against him many times?
Many times.
And I think you only beat him twice. Is
Yeah.
that right? Is that your recollection?
Yeah, I probably ran against Mike Haynes 150 patterns, and I won twice. The reason you remember it is because it was such a triumph to go against him. He's so frustrating because he would take a look, as you see the scores going by, Denver over Seattle 20-17. Great speed, great patience, and at least I didn't beat him very often.
3rd down and 9, knocked away, incomplete. So it'll be 4th down for Green Bay. It was Bill Packel who came in and deflected the ball, number 71, the nose tackle for the Raiders. And that means that Don Bracken will come in to kick.
From that somewhat. They're not running the football nearly as well or as often.
A low snap, but he gets it off, and a great kick. Stephon Adams takes it back at the 23-yard line. He's out to the 30 and returns to the 35. So Don Bracken with an excellent kick. And Chris Mandeville down on the coverage. We've got a timeout. Raiders lead it 7-0. Of course, what's other regional action? It all starts with NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time next Sunday. So be sure to check your local listing for the games and times in your area. Your team plays here on NBC Sports. Los Angeles with the lead of 7-0 and the ball at their own 35-yard line, and it has not been a good day for California teams in the National Football League.
No, the 49ers were beaten, upset by the Pittsburgh Steelers this afternoon. The Rams upset by the Houston Oilers.
Mark Wilson's pass is dropped by Fernandez. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Brian Noble with the coverage. And San Diego was defeated by Kansas City.
Right.
So California teams are 0 for 3, and only the Raiders now can salvage a win for the Sunshine State. Sunshine State? Golden State?
You live out there, Charlie.
What do I know?
Mark Wilson upset with that. Fernandez may have split the defense with his speed and gone for a score on that, but unable to hang onto the football. Wilson, of course, wants to make the big impression now that Hilger out of the game.
2nd down. He looked as if he wanted to throw, turned his head on just a slight draw to Marcus Allen. Mark Murphy makes the tackle at the 39-yard line. So 4 yards for Marcus, and it's 3rd down and 6.
It's kind of a quiet afternoon in a lot of ways, Charlie, for the Packer fans. It's, as you said, the mid-60s, mid to upper 60s, warm afternoon. Not a whole lot of offense going on out there, and Lambeau Field is a very quiet place right now.
Yes. Almost too quiet. 3rd down and 6. Wilson from the shotgun. And he goes sliding for the 1st down. They'll mark it the 47-yard line. He needed 6 yards. He got 8, and he got the 1st down. Now, something is going on. Just the look of the Los Angeles Raiders. My impression, you'll take another look at the scramble. The Raiders offensively look crisper, look sharper, look more relaxed because they have Wilson behind them, who they know what he can do and what he cannot do.
That has a lot
versus the unknown.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Is that a good read?
When you rate a quarterback, you rate him based on the intangibles, not the tangibles. Don't tell me he's got a quick release or he's got a strong arm. Tell me how he acts in the huddle. As you see him with a nice throw and catch.
1st down at the 32-yard line. James Lofton, his 1st reception. Now listen to the crowd. Not bad. Not a bad reception. He got a beautiful reception when he came in just to warm up, because he got applause all the way around the stadium. This was the man leading receiver in the history of the Green Bay Packers.
Lofton, it's a zone pattern, and the job. Here you see number 22 for the Green Bay Packers trying to come over and make a, excuse me, 23. That's Tiger Green, but it was a zone pattern. Nice play by Lofton.
Marcus Allen over the top from the 32. Let's call it 2 to the 30, and it'll be 2nd down and 8. Johnny Holland, inside linebacker on the right side, was there to meet him. 8 minutes, 54 seconds and counting. Time remaining 3rd quarter.
Let's get back to the quarterback items you were talking about, Charlie. When you rate a quarterback, it is the intangibles. How does he react in a huddle? How does he handle the team when he's in there giving a play? Obviously, Mark Wilson has a better grasp of his teammates around him. As you say, they look more relaxed, look like they know what they want to do when they break a huddle. And
they're making better receptions. He's not throwing the ball much better, but they're making better receptions. If it's behind him, they're adjusting better. The receivers are. He scrambles to the 29. You pick up a yard on the play. John Anderson with a tackle, so it's going to be 3rd down and 7. Not listed as a sack if he picks up a yard, of course.
Coming straight at you, you're right, Charlie. He's not doing many things differently than Rusty Hilger but he steps in the pocket very well.
Yes.
Knows what he wants to do with the football, and there's a different sense out there, not only probably on the field, but up here in the booth as well. You're right.
Doki Williams has come in as a wide receiver. Todd Christensen moves outside, so he becomes the 4th wide receiver in the set. And the pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 7. Now, let's also say this about Mark Wilson, is that the book on him has been that he is much more effective coming into a ball game as a reliever than he is as a starter. That's always been the book on him.
And that has
I don't know whose book it is, but it's a nice term.
That has a lot to do with preparation before a game. You always see quarterback. Don Strock is a great example. Don Strock is a better quarterback off the bench than he is as a starter. And I think it has a lot to do with the preparation, the pressure of being the starting quarterback from week to week. Maybe the personality of Mark Wilson says he'd rather come off the bench.
47 yards away, and it is no good. Off to the left. So Chris Barr misses from 47 yards out, and the score remains Los Angeles 7, Green Bay nothing. 7:37 left to go in the third. Jimmy Cephalo is Mark Wilson, and Fernandez looking at plays, possible routes, and what they might want to do the next time they get the ball in offense. But meanwhile, Green Bay owns the football, and they trail by a score of 7-0. And this one is intercepted. It'll be a score. Van McElroy. Touchdown, Los Angeles. And that may be all that the Raiders will need today.
Charlie, there was a problem with a read on the part of Randy Wright. There was a blitz from the strong safety. He did not pick it up, went to the wrong receiver, and an easy interception for Van McElroy.
He went to the wrong receiver, maybe the understatement of the season.
There's a hot receiver on a play like that,
yes.
Charlie. He's got to go to the side where the strong safety comes. We'll look at the replay in just a few minutes, and I'll show you what I mean.
Chris Barr to attempt the extra point. Mark Wilson to hold. And it is good for McElroy. He scores his first touchdown in the National Football League. This is his 6th year. Number 3 draft choice back in 1982. The Raiders now lead it 14-0. Look at the interception and the touchdown.
Now Randy Wright sees the blitz coming from the left side. He's looking that way. The receiver over there has got to break his pattern. He does not. Ed West does. Number 86, the tight end. But Randy Wright, a little nervous on it, overthrows the tight end, and Val McElroy has the first touchdown of his NFL career, and the Raiders are on top 14-0.
And they kick off. Kelly Cook will down it in the end zone. Will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Tom Flores, the head coach of the Raiders. Did he enjoy the interception? Well, a little. I thought he would be a little more enthusiastic than that. And Randy Wright, who just threw the interception, greeted by a round of boos here at Lambeau Field. Well, there's baseball at their own 20.
There has been a quarterback controversy of sorts here. Don Bukowski, a 10th round draft choice from Virginia, played well during the preseason, and some fans, I think, wanted to see number 5 on the field instead of Randy Wright.
6 of 17 for 60 yards. Here's a screen dropped off to the near side to Jesse Clark. And Clark is out to the 35 and fights his way to the 38, maybe the 39-yard line. He'll pick up 19 before Van McElroy makes the tackle.
Charlie, you remember in the first half, this was a play, there was a penalty on it. You said they might not come back to it the whole time.
Yes.
The little screen pass over to the left side, that's actually what it is. There are a couple of linemen out in front. They set it up to Jesse Clark down the sideline. And you know the boost stopped right away as soon as Randy Wright completed the one pass.
And Kenneth Davis trips and goes down. Did he trip over Wright?
No, I think he tripped. That line was kind of raised at 35 yards.
No, maybe we can look at it. I don't know if he caught the quarterback's foot or sometimes, you know, when you're young and you're anxious, you lean ahead of your feet. You simply do. I mean, you've seen that. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I've done it. I agree. He just trips. That's it. Came very close to tripping over Jesse Clark's foot, but it didn't look like they tangled up at all.
2nd down and 13. Wright throws back to the other side, has a receiver all alone. And this is Philip Epps. And Epps had driven off Lionel Washington, and then he on a comeback pattern along that sideline, and he had 5 or 7 yards.
Well, you've got to, it's a cliche to say you got to respect the speed of a good wide receiver, but Philip Epps in the NFL's fastest man competition has been second the last 2 years. Darrell Green of the Redskins beat him one time, and the Brown of the Rams this time around. But look how open he is on the sideline. That's because Lionel Washington, number 48's got him all the way to the goal line. He'd much rather him catch a 15-yard out than a 45-yard scoring bomb.
And Lester Hayes, who is normally there on injured reserve because of that foot injury still plaguing him. Jesse Clark has the carry, and he goes for a couple of yards from the 44 to the 42. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Stacy Turan makes the tackle. Ooh, look at this. John Elway, another touchdown pass. In the 3rd quarter, Denver now leads Seattle by 10, 27-17. And with 10 minutes to go in the first half, Seattle led Denver by 10, 17-7. So it has been quite a turnaround. And a lot of it came, Denver's field goal by Rich Carlos with a minute 17 to go in the first half. Elway touchdown pass, 25 seconds to go in the first half. Now in the 3rd quarter, another Elway pass.
But Charlie, this was a reverse being set up to Philip Epps, but because of the extreme pressure being put on Wright by the lineman of the Raiders, he forgets about it. He says, forget about this. I don't have time to hand the football. Watch Philip Epps going by. That was going to be a reverse, but there was no time whatsoever for Wright to hand the football off. Now take a look at the linemen down front. They want to get out of there. They want to get over to the right so they can set up for the block to spring Epps around the corner. But they got to remember they've got to slow the man up in the front of them.
3rd and 16. And a free play. Flags all over the place. The Raiders in the neutral zone. Howie Long was guessing with the count, and he had a full step into the neutral zone. And so a free play for Green Bay. They
Offside.
still couldn't
Number
catch it.
75, defense, 3rd down.
Oops. That's embarrassing. You always wonder, what do the players say when they do that?
Well, you know, there's nothing you can say.
You know, and if you're Howie Long, nobody's going to ask you about it.
Nobody, I wouldn't ask
I
him
wouldn't
about
say
it,
a
would
word.
you?
Way to go, Howie. My new best friend. All right, the ball with the penalty. Moved just outside the Los Angeles 45, and the down goes over to 3rd down and 11, and the penalty yardage. 6 in the secondary for the Raiders. Los Angeles leads it 14-0. Just over 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. And we've got motion and Howie Long moving too. But this time, I believe that one of the Packer linemen was making that move, and he went right with it.
But, you know, it's a chess game.
Ball start, number 75, offense.
On Ken
3rd
Rutgers.
down.
Well, it's Rutgers going against Howie last time around. Howie Long nearly ran him over, and he was still as a rock. Give him credit for the first one.
Still 3rd down, but now 16. Incomplete. Walter Stanley, the intended receiver, and Ron Fellows had the coverage, and Don Bracken will come in to punt. Bracken with a long of 65 and an average just over 45. Stephon Adams is the deep back. Sam Seal is now the up back on the near side. Oh, this is a beauty. He hangs this one up. And a fair catch is called for and taken at the 10-yard line. He had to chase it back to the 10, so it'll be a kick of 40 yards for Don Bracken. Today in the National Football, Cincinnati edge Indianapolis. And the Raiders lead here over Green Bay by a score of 14-0. From the 10-yard line, and the crowd finally comes back into the ball game. They have been exceptionally quiet in the second half. Tim Harris stopping Marcus Allen, and he has a yard from the 10 to the 11. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Field position had favored the Packers for the first quarter of the game, but since then the position has favored the Raiders for the rest of the contest. This is the first opportunity Green Bay has had to force a punt and get some pretty good field position.
Tampa Bay a big win. Minnesota over Detroit, and Denver leading Seattle by 10 in the 3rd quarter. Marcus Allen, that was his 25th carry of the ball game, has a total of 108 yards rushing. Lofton going in motion. Wilson drops it off to Marcus Allen. This time as a receiver, and he goes only to the 14-yard line. Has 3. So the 3rd down and 6 is Johnny Holland, the rookie out of Texas A&M, taken in the 2nd round of the draft, number 50. Limping just a little, but he's been limping on and off most of the ball game. Another good play by this rookie. He'll come out. They'll be looking for the pass. They'll change their defensive players for the pass rush and the coverage with extra men in the secondary. Mike Wilson, the cornerback for the Raiders, replacing Rusty Helger, who played throughout the first half. Frank Hawkins, I think, forgot the snap count. And Hawkins gets the call. And he slips as he goes around the corner. They're going to mark it down at the 19-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 1. So that means that Los Angeles will be kicking. Tim Harris was there for the defense. I'd like to welcome the crowd back in the ballgame. It does make a difference.
It certainly does. Frank Wilson that time, Frank Hawkins either did forget the snap count, as you said, Charlie, or Mark Wilson may have been unwilling to play. Maybe he didn't hear it and walked up and said, "Is that what you said? Because if I'm going to carry it, I better know I'm going to carry it." Yeah.
I stand Talley to kick, and Walter Stanley is the return man. Talley a little shaky start. You know he's the first kicker in 14 years. Go back to 1972. Ray Guy has been the kicker and has done such a great job. And Talley has gotten better as the game has gone on. Here's another good one. Oh, does he sell this one?
Kick.
It hit on the 16-yard line, picked out of the air just short of the 20 after the 30 return to the 35, maybe the 36-yard line on the return. A flag is down over at the 49. Andy Parker made the tackle 65 yards in the air. Now that's from the line of scrimmage. That punt 75, 77 yards in the air. That's a great kick. Now we'll sort out the flag. And the second half has been played better than the first half. First half was very ragged, and particularly the first quarter, it seemed like there was a flag on every play. So everybody is settling into the season. Jerry Markbright, the referee.
Illegal block on the return. It'll be first down, Green Bay.
Los Angeles leading by a score of 14-0 there. The Raiders last year, here's what happened. They opened at Denver, then at Washington. The Giants at home, all three teams making the playoffs. Of course, Denver and the Giants in the Super Bowl. They lost their first 3 games by a total of 11 points. This year they open at Green Bay, at home next week against Detroit, and then at Houston. So a much easier schedule to start the season this year than last year. The Raiders are going to say the ball never touched the ground and that they have an interception. And let's see what the officials are going to say. They're ruling an interception, yes. So
And you can't,
Randy Wright plagued by another interception, and you really can't blame him for that.
Not whatsoever. This is a mistake on the part of Frankie Neal. Here comes the alligator arms again. Coming across, he didn't go after this football well enough. It hit him square in the hands. A nice throw on the part of Randy Wright. Matt Millen with the interception. Not very many for the big guy from Penn State. Here it is. Now watch the throw. He stopped going across the middle. He's got to come back toward the quarterback. The throw was not a mistake. Let's see. It does not touch the ground.
No, the ball still does not touch the ground.
Not yet. Oh, Matt Millen stole it. Okay, I was going to say it was not actually a clean interception. Lionel Washington, number 48 on the bottom. Millen said, hey, I don't get very many of them. Can I have this one?
And Millen's also 6'2", 245. Washington 6 feet, 185. He said, take it, big guy, and go with it. All right. The spike on the field. Can't do that. If it's picked up, it'll cost you 5.
But to Frankie Neal, getting back to that point, when he makes the corner and sees the football coming toward him, he's got to run straight back toward the quarterback to continue the cushion between himself and Lionel Washington, the defensive back that was covering him. That's a mistake by the rookie.
Replay officials, they have larger monitors this year. 39-yard line. And a first down. Mark Wilson in the second half has completed 4 of 8 for 50 yards. And Marcus Allen continues to be the offense. The second touchdown, of course, Van McElroy, a 35-yard interception for the score. And here's Marcus Allen to the right side. Little stutter step, and he is down at the 38-yard line. So he has a yard. It'll be second down and 9 as Anderson brings him down. Mark Lee was also there. Now, notice the pants that Marcus has on. They are cut above the kneecap.
And if he gets caught, they will put him out of the game for one play until he corrects that.
Don't you have to have they don't have to come over the knees with the knee pads on it to protect the knee?
Right. There's a very strict code that they are going to enforce this year, from what I understand, about the uniforms of the players. And what they'll do is put him out of the game for one play if he doesn't correct it.
Here's Mark Wilson. He goes deep to Lofton, tipped away, incomplete. Good defensive play. Dave Brown had the coverage, the wily veteran. He's played very well for Green Bay.
Oh yeah, that's been a problem for the right cornerback spot. Some problems. Mossy Cade, of course, not here any longer with the legal problems. Tim Lewis, a neck problem a year ago, and they went and got Dave Brown. Now there's another rule in the NFL, the one-step rule. Let's take a look at the tail end of this play. Lofton nowhere to go with it. Nice coverage by the defensive back. But let's get back to that hit on the quarterback. The new rule this year says that a defensive player can take one step and still hit the quarterback. Apparently, and by looking at that tape, he was within his right, Brian Noble was, to hit Mark Wilson.
Third down pass is complete to Lofton, and he'll pick up the first down as he is wrestled at the 27-yard line. He needed 9, and he got 11, and Kenneth Johnson makes the play for Green Bay, but it's a first down for Los Angeles. When the play is signaled in from the sideline to a veteran quarterback, they don't sit in the formation because the quarterback knows the formation to call.
Exactly. He's got to know the formation.
That saves a little time.
Yeah, very much so. But it's interesting. Sometimes you can read what a quarterback is going to do by looking at those signals. If this is a pitch, I got it down. Well, not quite.
Well, you're close. It's a handoff and a flag down. Marcus Allen, the ball carrier. John Anderson with the stop. It was a first down at the 27-yard line. 55 seconds. That is the time remaining. It's going to go against the Raiders for holding. We're in the third
Holding
quarter.
number 72, offense, first down.
Los Angeles leading Green Bay by a score of 14-0.
Don Mosbar with the holding call.
First and 20 now from the Green Bay 37-yard line. Wilson hands off to Marcus Allen. Marcus to the 33, gain of 4. Second down and 16. Green Bay's defense at times playing the run very well.
They've played it well for most of the day. Marcus Allen's gotten some of the yards in the first half. He carried the ball 19 times.
Denver's still leading by 10 over Seattle. Third quarter of that ball game.
But when you look overall at their defensive performance this afternoon, they've got to be fairly happy. They only gave up the 1 touchdown. The second one, of course, the interception by Van McElroy, but only 7 points by Forrest Gregg's troops. Not a bad job against the Raiders.
No, the Raiders will take the countdown to the third quarter as we await the gun, and that is officially the end of the third quarter with the score: the Raiders 14, the Packers nothing. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. By a score of 14-0. Mark Wilson, and it is knocked away, incomplete. It will be third down. Let's go to New York for an update. John Elway with 4 touchdown passes in that ballgame. Here's Marcus Allen, and Allen to the 24-yard line, maybe the 23. He picks up close to 10 yards. Let's say the 24. And so it's going to be fourth down as we look at the statistics through 3.
Well, they haven't changed a great deal. Yards rushing still piling up for the Los Angeles Raiders. Much of that because of Marcus Allen. Passing yards, the Raiders are coming out 73. Mark Wilson with all but 12 yards of that passing yards. And of course, time of possession going with the rushing team, the LA Raiders.
A 41-yard field goal attempt by Chris Barr. He is missed from 47 yards out, going the other direction. And this one is good from 41 yards away. And so the Raiders now move out in front of the Green Bay Packers by a score of 17-0. Chris Barr kicking off for the Raiders with Fullwood and Cook, the deep backs, on the return. And at the 10-yard line, this is Kelly Cook. And he returns to the 29. He has 19 yards on the return, and we'll have a change at quarterback. The rookie from Virginia, Don Majkowski, taken in the 10th round of the draft this year. And he has a nice reception.
Yeah, there has been as I said earlier, the controversy. Some of the fans wanted to see Majkowski get the starting shot today. He started last week in the final preseason game against the Cleveland Browns for the Packers. Did not play well in the first half, and Forrest Gregg decided to go with Randy Wright this afternoon.
And he opens up with a pitch to Fullwood.
Majkowski is a kind of a fearless quarterback. He's not afraid to go out there and run around. He'll run with the football. He's a very good rushing quarterback. Has thrown the ball better than they thought he might at the scouting combine, the Blesto scouting combine in New Orleans this past year. He did not look good in the various drills they had, but they say he's a gamer. He came into game situations and performed much better than he had in any of the drills.
2nd and 7. Here's his first NFL pass. And it's incomplete. He was going to Walter Stanley. And it'll be 3rd down and 7 at the 33.
All right, Sean Jones limping out the field just a bit. No, he seems to be all right, but let's take a look at him. 15.5 sacks last year, led the AFC, working against number 73. That's Rutgers, and he beats him this time. And I'll tell you, Majkowski in this first pass feels what it's like to sit in the pocket and get hit by someone who's more than 6'7" and 290 pounds.
3rd down and 7. Now everybody knows he's going to throw here. And not from the shotgun. He drops this off, a little swing to Paul Caruth. And Caruth is down at the 32. He ends up losing a yard. It's going to be 4th down and 8. Stacy Tran makes the tackle, and Don Bracken
It's him right around the throat for a while.
Stephon Adams, and it takes a Raider bounce back to towards the Green Bay Packers, and they will down it, and we'll take a timeout. We've got 12:38 left to go in the ball game, and the Raiders lead it 17-0. Comparison: Hilger in the first half completed 2 of 7 for 12 yards. Wilson in the second half, it's been better, 5 of 11 for 61 yards. Still, that's not all that outstanding.
No, it's not. He's moved the team. He's completed some balls to wide receivers, which Rusty Hilger did not do in the first half.
And there's Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen with 123 yards rushing on the previous 28 carries. That was his 29th carry to the 34-yard line. So he now has 124 yards rushing plus a touchdown. John Anderson with the tackle.
And with 12:15 left in the 4th quarter, the Raiders are probably going to keep this football on the ground with a 17-0 lead. He could wind up with nearly 40 carries this afternoon.
Just like when he was at SC.
That's right.
Wilson throws, pass is complete. He goes to the tight end Todd Christensen, and it's complete to the 42-yard line. It's going to be a little bit shy of the first down. Mark Murphy makes the tackle. 3rd down and 1. Seattle, Denver. Denver 34, Seattle 17. Seattle led 17-7. They led by 10 points in the first half. Complete reversal. John Elway has thrown for 4 touchdowns in that ball game. That's an impressive showing against Seattle, who many picked to make the play, to make the Super Bowl.
Many clubs around the league would love to have the talent that Seattle has. Last couple of years, though, they have not done extremely well.
Marcus going over the top to the 44-yard line, and he picks up the first down. And the clock just continues to march along. 11:06 and counting. That is the time remaining in the game. Brian Noble with the tackle.
And there's actually very little that the Forrest Gregg and the Packers can do at this point. They know Marcus Allen is going to carry the football. They can only hope that he'll lay the football on the ground. Maybe some blitzing to try and stop the running game. But very little else. They've got to generate some kind of an offense. And now behind the rookie, they're going to go with Mikowski.
Vance Mueller is now in as a running back. And he gets the call as Marcus comes out, gets a little breather. Tim Harris makes the tackle at the 46-yard line. A gain of a couple, 2nd down and 8. And so Marcus Allen with his total of 124 yards rushing has gone to the sideline. So possibly that's the last that we have seen of him. As number 97, Tim Harris, is out with a little pull muscle. And he'll be administered to on the far side.
And that's bad news for the Packers, Charlie. They're going to need Tim Harris because of the injury to Ezra Johnson.
And here's Mueller. He slips 1 tackle and he cuts back and almost gets back to the line of scrimmage. John Anderson makes the defensive play along with Norman Jefferson. So it'll be 3rd down and still 8 yards to go for the first down. Los Angeles 17 and Green Bay nothing. A scoreless and very unproductive first quarter in the ball game. Los Angeles led at halftime 7-0 on Marcus Allen's touchdown from just a little over a foot away. The second touchdown was Van McElroy, a 35-yard interception. Chris Barr with a 41-yard field goal. That's been the scoring. This one got away. A flag is down. This one slipped from Mark Wilson, going to Dokie Williams. And it was high and incomplete. Dave Brown had the coverage, and there was a flag on the play.
And it's going to involve Todd Christensen again. I believe, Charlie, there are more penalties involving Todd Christensen than any football player in the NFL.
Leg cramp is the call on Tim Harris, so he'll be coming back in.
Illegal hands, number 32, defense, automatic first down.
Illegal hands on Dave Brown. That's going to the head. Todd Christensen, by the way, the leading receiver in the NFL last year with 95, has 3 receptions in this game for 29 yards.
The reason that he's involved in more penalties is because he is such a good possession receiver that sometimes a linebacker or a strong safety who normally has to cover him will resort to that kind of a grabbing and pulling, holding onto him.
And it's a first down, courtesy of the penalty at the Green Bay 49-yard line. Wilson rolls out, sets, pumps, has all the time in the world, looks, finds a man open, and hits him, and that's Fernandez. And he is down at the 28 of the 29-yard line. Ken Stills makes the tackle. Let's call it the 28. And a gain of 21 yards on the play and the first down.
Christensen will draw more double coverage as well, Charlie, than anything else. Very few people want to just send him out man-to-man with a linebacker. That's not going to happen. Brian Noble, number 91, from the inside is going to take him. And from the outside, they're not going to take any chances. That's Mike Weddington, number 52, on the double team of Christensen.
And a first down at the Green Bay 28. And here's Vance Mueller. And Mueller is down at the 26. So he has a couple of yards. Second down and 8. Brian Noble with the tackle. And the crowd once again becoming very quiet here at Lambeau Field.
And some are beginning to file out. You know, they wanted Bukowski the entire time. They booed Randy Wright. They got awfully quiet right in the middle of his first series. Now some fans here at Lambeau are starting to file out.
8 minutes left to go in the ballgame. Raiders lead it 17-0. Wilson with good protection, and Christensen drops this one. Wasn't all that good a pass.
Now, he was a release valve. Todd Christensen stayed in the block in that pattern. When he realized that no one was open, he released downfield. Wilson went the right place, but as you say, Charlie, didn't have anything on it whatsoever. Let's take a look at it. Now, Christensen is to the right. Wilson is looking downfield. He does not want to go to the valve, but he has no choice. Has to get it over a lineman. Somebody had his paw up there and was unable to get it to Christensen.
Wilson has completed 7 of 14 for 91 yards, and Marcus Allen back in the ballgame. And Marcus goes to the 18-yard line. And that is close to the first down. Let's see where they mark him. Mark Murphy, the strong safety, makes the tackle. And it's going to be a first down. So Marcus comes in, picks up the first down, and then he goes to the far side for a breather, and Vance Mueller comes back in. Talk about a spot player. You need a first down, you put him in, you get it, and he comes back out.
Is your designated first down rusher,
Yes.
I think.
I think this game just points up the fact of how important it is for the Raiders to have a healthy Marcus Allen. Pass far side is complete, and it's Doki Williams who pulls it in. Norman Jefferson had the coverage, but also you can look back to last year at the end of the season when he was hurting, had all the injuries, and they lose their last 4 ball games. You just cannot win without a Marcus Allen. You need him. He is that good.
Right.
That means that much to this particular ball game.
Yeah, and in the same sense, you really don't want him to carry the ball 35 times a game. It's only the opening day of the season. I bet he's going to be awfully sore tomorrow. And by game 6 and 7, that's when the injuries begin to occur if you overrun a running back.
Second down and 1, the ball at the 9-yard line. And here is Steve Smith, the rookie out of Penn State, that the Raiders are very high on because he can do a lot of things: run, receive, block. Robert Brown makes the tackle. Last time that we saw Steve was in the Fiesta Bowl, the national championship game.
That's right. And the Nittany Lions had a pair of fullbacks. The Raiders opted for Steve Smith in the 3rd round of this draft. And as you said, Charlie, they like his catching ability. Unusual. Fullbacks at Penn State, I can guarantee you, they're not going to wear white shoes and they're not going to catch the football.
Now, as the change come out, when you were, of course, when you played at Penn State, you wore the black shoes and the high tops. Now, what happened in your first game with Miami?
Well, I went there and I had, the orange ball. I had the white shoes on, and it looks like they will get, no, just shy of the first down by a couple of inches.
You were wearing the black shoes in the locker room?
Yes, I was going out in the field with him, and Nat Moore said to me, "Where are you going with those?" I said, "I'm going to play football." He said, "You're not going to embarrass me and the rest of this receiving corps by wearing those nasty things." And all he had was a pair of 10 white shoes, and I wear a 12, but I wore them. I guarantee Steve Smith's never had a pair of white shoes on before in his life either.
3rd down, and as you saw, just inches to go. 6:13 and counting as the clock is moving, and Marcus Allen is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brian Noble leading the defense. Total offense for the Raiders 288 yards, for the Packers 164.
And Charlie, they're going to call for the change once again. It's that close. In each of the past 2 weeks, last 2 preseason games, the Packers had more than 400 yards in total offense. And so the Raider defense has really done quite a job here this afternoon.
And it is still about 3 inches shy of the first down. All right, you're up 17-0. Do you go for the first down? You go for the field? I say you go for the first down. Because even if you don't make it, Green Bay has terrible field position.
I'd say you go for the first down as well, because a field goal's not going to do that much good for you. You know, they still need 3 scores, and they beat you with 3 touchdowns. I think you're right. That time they had 3 tight ends in the football game. They ran behind Christensen and Trey Junkin on the right side. Let's see if they go back to it.
Marcus to the 6-yard line. So he's got the first down.
They ran basically the same play, just to the other side. They took Trey Junkin, lined him up on the right side, moved him across the formation, and he blocked down. He gets split by the defender, but Marcus Allen is the one who makes this play just about all on his own.
I'm curious about the pants that Marcus he wears. They almost look like long Bermuda shorts, but he doesn't have any protection for his knees. Now, I know a lot of receivers, a lot of speed backs like that that feel of not having the pants come down over the kneecaps, but isn't it dangerous?
Charlie, I've never known a wide receiver to wear thigh pads or knee guards. I never wore them. I never knew anyone to wear them. But the thing is, you can get caught if you take the pants and roll them up above the knees. You won't get caught if you put them down below. He's got thigh pads on. You can tell that from that shot.
But he doesn't have any protection for his knees. And the knees don't take that big a jarring? I would think so.
Well, they really, for a running back, they will. A wide receiver, he's not going to hit anybody anyway. But for Marcus Allen, yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Looks like he didn't have very much protection there. By the way, a knee pad will not help a ligament or that kind of
that's true.
Bad damage. It'll help an impact, but that's about it.
Second down, excuse me. And Wilson goes down, and the Packers get a sack. Alfonso Carricker is the man who brought him down.
An unusual sack as well, but Carricker will take it anyway. He kind of nudges him, but he's really knocked over by a running back inside.
Yeah, Steve Strahan. Steve Strahan.
Right. He's the one who actually knocked Mark Wilson down, but Carricker was close enough, and he'll get credit with it.
He'll take credit for it, sure.
Sure, we should talk about this Packer team. They have not had a good outing today, but when you take a look at their draft, there is some reason for optimism here in Green Bay. Tom Bratz, the new personnel director for the Packers, went out and got some very strong people with Fullwood, with Holland, the linebacker, Scott Steven, another linebacker.
Timeout, Los Angeles Raiders.
Mikowski was a steal in the 10th round, the quarterback who's in there now. And Frank O'Neal, the wide receiver, has had a great camp. Forrest Gregg, in talking about it, has said that this reminds him of the draft of the 1958 Green Bay Packers, in which they had such people as Jimmy Taylor and Ray Nitschke. So some optimism. 17-0.
Thank you, Bob, for that update, which at the beginning of this season looms just as large as the outcome of any of the ball games. Wilson, a little swing pass on the right flat, and Marcus is dropped in his tracks. So Marcus Allen loses 3 yards back to the 10. And Chris Barr will come on with a field goal attempt. Johnny Holland made the defensive play for Green Bay. Chris Barr, well, he missed earlier from 47 yards out at the opposite end of the stadium. And he missed to the left. He is hit at this end of the stadium from 41 yards away. And this will be an attempt of 27 yards. Next week, the Raiders, their home opener, hosting Detroit, and Green Bay will host Denver at Milwaukee. And this is up, and it is good from 27 yards out. So Chris Barr adds 3 more to the Los Angeles total. And the only team from California right now, it looks, to win in the National Football League today, leading the Green Bay Packers by a score of 20-0 with 3:07 left to go. So let's take a look at those.
Going to let him sit for a while until he develops a little bit more. DeBerg doing a good job in Minnesota over Detroit. Of course, Denver leading Seattle 37-17 in the fourth.
And Rich Karlis just kicked a 35-yard field goal to make that 37-17. And here is Brent Fullwood on the return out to the 25, the 30, the 35, the 40. He's out to the 50, and he returns to the 39-yard line of the Raiders. That's the good news. The bad news is there's a flag back at the 17-yard line.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist, number 99 on the return. First down.
I always wanted to do a highlight film of plays that were called back by penalties, and this would make the highlight film.
Oh, Brent Fullwood, they've been very happy with him thus far throughout camp. John Dorsey, number 99. Let's see if we can pick up the illegal block below the waist. Not on that angle, but a nice burst on the part of Brent Fullwood. He's a tough runner. You don't put somebody back to return kicks unless they're very tough. You like that out of a first-round draft choice. Some first-rounders would say, hey, coach, I'm going to be a star one day. Don't stick me back there. There you see John Dorsey call with the illegal block. Don't stick me back there. I'm going to be a star. I don't want to get hit returning kicks. But Fullwood shows his toughness.
That was a 57-yard return that doesn't count, and the pass is incomplete. So it's second down and 10. Back at the Green Bay 9-yard line with 2 minutes and 48 seconds. That is the time remaining in the game. The Raiders lead it by a score of 20-0, and Frankie Neal, Mikowski's intended receiver.
And Mikowski took another pop in the end zone that time by number 98, Mitch Willis. He's got to get used to that to play in this league.
Don Mikowski, the rookie from Virginia, from the shotgun. Four-man rush, has pressure, steps away, flags are down, another flag goes down. He dives across the 15 to the 17-yard line, but in all probability, holding will be called against the Green Bay Packers.
Well, let's go back to that draft and the comparison that the 58 draft of the Green Bay Packers. And Forrest Gregg had said that it kind of reminds him, of course, you can't evaluate a draft for another 3 or 4 years, but certainly the people that he's brought in, and Jim Bratz, the new personnel director of Green Bay, they've been very impressed. There are 10 new people on this club than there were a year ago. But that 58 draft.
Holding number 77, offense, second down.
On Tommy Robison.
Tommy Robison. Dan from 58, Dan Curry, the linebacker, of course, Jim Taylor, Ray Nitschke, and Jerry Kramer. Now, Forrest Gregg says that, well, it kind of reminds him of that draft. You can bet that some of these folks are going to be here for a little while.
And if it does remind him, that means that the Pack could be back in a couple of years, 3 years.
Optimism has been strong all year, but they were 0-4 in preseason. You know, you can go with rookies for a while, and but they've got to start to produce. It's too early to put pressure on them just yet.
Second and 15. Pass is there. It's caught by Frankie Neal, rookie to rookie. Neal taken in the third round of the draft from Fort Hays State. 21-yard line. Mike Haynes makes the tackle and a first down for Green Bay.
Now Mikowski will try to get as many plays before the 2-minute warning as possible. It saves him a timeout. Looks like he'll just get one in, though.
Far side incomplete. No, he'll get one more in. 2:01. So we'll have another play before the 2-minute warning. It'll be second down and 10 at the 21-yard line. Walter Stanley, closest receiver. Ron Fellows had the coverage. I always felt like he was throwing it away, though. You know, it's one of those, you look, if he's there, you hit him. If you don't, you just throw it high and let it go.
Well, another point is that you got a rookie back there. He was smacked by Willis, smacked by Jones, and he may be pulling the trigger a little bit quicker than he normally would.
Good point. And I certainly
Can't blame him.
No, I don't blame. He's a very smart quarterback if he does that. Throws on the run, and the pass is incomplete. Good defensive play by Jerry Robinson. Caruth, the intended receiver. Robinson, perfect timing, came around, clamped the arms, knocks the ball away.
And
Good play.
Jerry Robinson made that play at the line of scrimmage. His job was to cover Caruth all over the field. He didn't let him pass the line of scrimmage. He popped him right there and forced Caruth to try and reevaluate where he wanted to run with it. That was after the first jam, and then he was right on him the second time to prevent him from catching the ball.
And he pinned his arms in, so he couldn't make the reception. 2-minute warning. We'll be back in a moment. Green Bay has converted only 1 of 11 third down opportunities. Mikowski has completed 2 of 6 for 15 yards. And it is incomplete. So it will be 4th down and 10. And the ball will be back at the 21-yard line. Here's the report card on the Green Bay Packers of today's game. Now, first the Raiders report card. Rusty Hilger in the first half, 2 of 7. Up quickly changing the Green Bay Packers report card. Wright, 8 of 21, 3 interceptions in the first half. Mikowski, 2 of 7, 15 yards. And Kenneth Davis, 8 carries for 40 yards. Stephon Adams set to return the punt of Don Bracken. Another good one. Takes it at the 25. Looks for a block and just steps out of bounds at the 32. So he'll have 7 yards on the return. Now we'll go back to that Raider report card that you saw ever so briefly. Hilger in the first half completed 2 of 7, 12 yards interception. Mark Wilson in the second half, 9 of 17. He's thrown for 100 yards. Marcus Allen, by the way, flagged back at the 36-yard line. Marcus Allen, 33 carries, 136 yards rushing and a touchdown. And McElroy with that 35-yard interception return for a touchdown. That is the report card on the Los Angeles Raiders, who lead at this point by a score of 20-0 with 1:14 left to go in the game.
And so many penalties this afternoon.
Oh,
they
yes.
keep piling up.
A sloppy ball game. There's Marcus, except for this man. Oh, he has looked brilliant.
He certainly has.
Yes.
33 carries, though, Charlie. Just too many for Marcus Allen on an afternoon.
But he loves, you know, when he was in college. Is there that much of a difference?
Well, oh yeah.
From a pounding standpoint,
yeah.
well, you know.
And plus, he's 5 or 6 or 7 years older than he was when he was there.
Yeah, that's true.
And any running back will tell you, no, coach, give me the football. You don't want him in there unless he wants to carry it 40 times a game. But the overall standpoint of the LA Raiders, you got to think that here's a man who in the last part of the year was beaten up, dropped the football a lot because of the injuries in some respect. And you don't want to put that kind of pressure on him this early in the season.
And you saw Matt Miller, number 55 in the visor.
Number 91 on the kicking team. While the kick was in the air, penalty declined, 1st down Raiders.
Last penalty was declined. The Raiders have the ball. And that was Matt Miller, number 55, with that juggling interception that he and Lionel Washington combined for, and it bounced around, never hit the ground, and Matt ended up with it. All right, Raiders have the ball at their own 32-yard line, 1st down. With 1:40 to go, and Los Angeles comfortably in front by a score of 20-0. And this is Steve Strahan. Raiders, their last shutout was September the 8th, 1985, 86, 87, 2 years ago. And the Raiders shut out the Jets 31-0 to open the 85 season. And for the Packers, they lost to the Bears 14-0. 122 games since that one, December the 10th, 1978. First down, and Strahan gets the call again. And has a couple of yards from the 44 to the 46. It'll be 2nd down and 8 as the clock continues to move.
Sure, believe it or not, people work on these drills about just running the clock out this way.
Green Bay.
Oops, we've got a timeout. That means we'll be going away, but we'll be back. That's a promise in a moment. They had the ball at their own 46-yard line.
Adokia Williams is just going to make a swing behind. The reason he's doing that, number 85, in case there is a dropped football, a fumble, he's back there to make sure that somebody doesn't get an easy score and the big pile up in the middle. But clubs do work on these type of things. You got to be able to run the football out. And I think it all started back when Larry Zonka fumbled the football between the Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles, and Herdman Edwards ran it in for a score to change the football game. Since then, every club has taken Adokia Williams.
Who fumbled it? Who fumbled it?
It was Larry Zonka. And yeah, don't you remember the handoff?
Well, that's right. Yes.
But ever since then,
Wasn't Zonka?
yes, Zonka was there.
Was he? You're sure? With the Giants?
Joe Pisarcik was the quarterback.
Zonka played for Miami.
Yeah, but he played for the Giants for a while, Captain.
Okay. Well, you're older than I am. You remember all those things. I've been saving that line for 3 hours. Meanwhile, Rich Karlis in Denver. Karlis with a 29-yard field goal, and Denver leads Seattle 40-17 with just over 3 minutes to go in that ball game, as this one mercifully comes to a close. The final, the Los Angeles Raiders 20 and the Green Bay Packers nothing. And not an impressive performance on either side of the line, but we'll be back in just a moment to Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Okay.
All right.
Are we doing the headliners, or is that dead? Okay. We have a card on the Budweiser thing.
Deadly.
Was Zonka with the Giants?
Yeah.
I remember the play, but I just don't remember Zonka. That's interesting.
But ever since then, they've taken a receiver, stood him back there, made him run behind.
Yeah.
Dumb little thing. But you know, it's what else you can talk
That's
about?
right.
In this
No, I think it's great. But I did not. That's interesting. I did not remember Zonka. Yes. Okay. You got any individual stats you want to throw up?
How much total time? I'm sorry, I missed it.
And now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP, it's Marcus Allen, and that's an easy one from the Los Angeles Raiders. Budweiser will make a contribution to United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected throughout the NFL today. Marcus Allen, oh, what a great way to start the season, and what a great back. Final score, once again, the Los Angeles Raiders 20 and the Green Bay Packers 0. Your impression?
Well, Charlie, the Packers coming in, as we said, optimistic, but can't be very optimistic about today's performance. 0-4 in the preseason, shut out today, the first time since 1978. Not happy, apparently, with the performance of Randy Wright, their 6th-round quarterback of a couple of years ago. Likewise, on the Raiders side of the football, another 6th-rounder, Rusty Hilger, injured in the first half, but unimpressive while he was in the football game.
The Raiders next week will host Detroit. Green Bay will host Denver at Milwaukee. This is Charlie Jones with Jimmy Cefalo. Now stay tuned, except on the West Coast, for Our House coming up next on NBC. Once again, the final score, the Los Angeles Raiders 20 and the Green Bay Packers nothing. Whew. It was completely. I'm not even. It was boring. Oh.
The most exciting play was the interception when Millen and Lionel Washington bounced it around.
There's one touchdown scored with the offense.
Yeah.
From a foot out.
That's right. That's right. That was it.
Yeah.
Do we make the people in both cities mad? I'm certain.
I'm sure that we do.